So 4-6, we're going to calculate the average daily balance using the credit calendar, and we're going to calculate the finance charge also using the credit calendar. So when we go into our key terms, there are only 3 this time. Average daily balance. This is the average of the amounts you owed each day of the billing period, which we figured out before. So this is not new. The credit calendar, you'll find this at the end of your packet. It's also after example 1 in your packet. This is a calendar method of calculating an average daily balance. It is not difficult, but it is tedious, which means it takes a little while, but you can handle it. Billing date, the date the bill or the statement was written by the credit card company. That is always listed on your credit card statement. How are the entries on the monthly statement calculated? Something to think about here. And why do many credit card holders skip the terms and conditions, basically the legal pieces of the credit card statements portion on their credit card? Why do they skip over that? So what I want you to do here, ask your parents if they have a credit card. Ask them to show you the terms and conditions that go along with their credit card statement. Tell me why most people don't even bother looking at that stuff. Okay, so here you see a little bit of a credit card statement. So you see our transactions. Was that the store purchased $67 worth of stuff, another store purchased $55 worth of stuff, had a payment of $160. The billing date is here, the account number, the account holder's name, their mailing address, the payment that due date is there, the billing date, you've got your previous balance, your payments and credits, new purchases, total credit line, available credit, average daily balance. We're going to actually check in this example to make sure that this is correct. The number of days in the billing cycle, the APR, which is your annual, and if I take that and divide it by 12, I get the monthly periodic rate. So again, to calculate the monthly periodic rate, you take the APR, the annual percentage rate, and you take that and you divide it by 12 months in a year. Okay? So, example 1. We need to use the information given on Elena's credit card statement to verify the accuracy of her average daily balance. So, you are going to need to use your blank credit card calendar here. So, we're actually going to I'm going to go back and show you the statement here because we're going to pull some information off of this. So using this as well as your credit card calendar, I'm going to move over here so you can see me a little bit. Okay, so we need 2 pieces. We need her statement, and then we also need this, which is the calendar for figuring out the average daily balance. Again, it's tedious, it's not hard. So the first thing that we do, her billing cycle, how many days is it? Well, let's take a look at her statement here. Her number of days in her billing cycle is 31 days. So on the calendar, I only need 31 days. Well, it goes across, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So times 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31. I don't need these last 4 boxes, so go ahead and cross them out. You will not need these. Okay? The next thing you need is the billing date. Okay, her billing date is November 13th. So that goes in your very last box. So first thing you look for is the billing date. That goes in the very last date section, and then you just count backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Go ahead and fill in your calendar. Okay, so you can see that I filled in her billing date, which is here, and then worked my way backwards, so we're here in October. Now, our next step, we need to look at the posted dates on her statement. So we're going to need to go back to here, and there was an activity on the 25th, on the 29th, as well as November 5th. So what we need to do is we need to go fill these in on the calendar. So on October 25th, there was a purchase of $67. So October 25th, we're going to add $67. On October 29th, if you look at your statement, there was a purchase of $55. So we go to October 29th, and I add $55. And then on November 5th, there was a payment on the account. So what do I do when there's a payment? I subtract the $160. Okay? So the next step here, now that you have all of that filled in, is to take what her starting balance was off of her statement. So if you go to your statement previous page, okay, her previous balance is here, $829.30. So that we start filling in our calendar. So 829.30, 829.30. We're going to do this all the way until we get to where there was some more activity on her account. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. You're going to go ahead and fill in your calendar at this point. Okay, so you'll see here that I've gone ahead and filled in the 829.30, which was her daily balances, all the way up until we get to the 25th of October. On the 25th, she made a purchase of $67, so that increased her balance on her credit card by $67. So I take the 829.30 on this date, and I add to it the $67. So I'm going to bring in my calculator here just so you can see. So 829.30 plus 67, I get an answer of $896.30. That becomes my new balance, $896.30. So from here on out, I fill in until I find more activity. I use $896.30 as her new balance. So go ahead and fill that in. I'm going to pause this while you fill that in. So I went ahead and filled in the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th with $896.30. Also on the 29th, I filled in the $896.30, but then that's where she added the extra $55 onto her account by making another purchase. So now I just go ahead and add those up as well. So now her new balance is $951.30. That becomes the daily balance until I get down to November 5th. So go ahead and pause the video and fill in those values, please. So I've gone ahead and filled in those $951.30 for those given days. On November 5th, she made a payment to the credit card of $160. So what I have to do here, because that payment is reducing my balance, I have to go ahead and subtract. So go ahead and subtract those values. So we end up with a balance of $791.30. That balance will continue all the way through until the end of her billing statement date here. Go ahead and fill those in. So at this point, you have your November 5th to November 13th filled in with the amount of $791.30. So now we can see what the daily balance was as her billing cycle went on. Now's where we actually have to calculate her average daily balance. So we have to find the average of all of these. So on your slide for example 1, okay, so use the information given in her credit card statement to verify the accuracy of her daily balance. So what I need to do here now is pull out of my credit calendar how many days did I have all of those different balances. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a highlighter, and actually a couple different highlighters. So we had a balance of $829.30. Goes all the way up until the 24th. So there's my $829.30. So all of those days right there. So I'm just going to highlight all of those boxes. But then from October 25th all the way to the 28th, I had a balance of $896.30. Okay? And then from the 29th until the 4th, I had $951.30. And then the last one from the 5th of November all the way till the 13th of November, I had $791.30. So let me just put the other one up there in blue. Okay. And then the last one that I had, like I said, was all of these guys here. So just to help you see the visual a little bit better. So what do I have here now? Well, how many days in blue do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 days, $829.30. We're going to do the same thing for the orange, the green, and the yellow. So go ahead and tell me how many days there are there. Okay, so I went ahead and calculated how many days at each value she had. So 11 days at $829.30, 4 days at $896.30, 7 days at $951.30, and then 9 days at $791.30. So now to calculate the daily balance, I need to find all of these totals, add them all up, and then divide by the number of days in her billing cycle, which is 31 days. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to calculate all of those. You're going to do the same thing, and we'll be right back. So So I've gone ahead and multiplied 11 times 829.30, 4 times 896.30, 7 times 951.30, and 9 times 791.30. Here are all of my values. I go ahead and I add all of those up, and I end up with $26,488.30. I'm going to divide that by 30 days to get me the average daily balance. I'm just going to abbreviate that for now. So when I take the $26,488.30 and divide that by 31 days, I get her average daily balance of $854.46. So what they want us to know is to verify the accuracy of her average daily balance. So let's go back and look at her average daily balance on her statement, which was $854.46. So the credit card company absolutely did it correct because this value and this value match. Okay? So we're going to go ahead on to the next slide. So is there a better time during the billing cycle when Elena could have made her payment so that the average daily balance would have been less? So is it better for her to make it sooner in the month or later in the month? So if you answered sooner in the month, you're absolutely correct, because the sooner you make that payment, the longer you carry that lower balance during the month. Okay, so if we look here, so if she had made that payment sooner up here, she would have carried that $791.30 balance for a longer period, which would have reduced her average daily balance. So it is always better to make the payment. It is always better to make the payment early in the billing cycle. Okay, so we go on to example 2. Determine the finance charge for Elena's billing cycle. So we need to find the monthly rate. Well, let's make sure that they did it correctly. So let's look at her statement. Her APR is 16.98%. So if I take 16.98 and I divide that by 12, I end up with 1.415%, which is absolutely correct. So the monthly rate is 1.415%. I need to not convert that to a percent because it's already there. Sorry, that's a typo. Should say decimal. So move it 2 decimal places to the left. I end up with 0.01415. I need to multiply this rate, 0.01415, multiply that by the average daily balance, which was 854.46. So when I do that on my calculator, 854.46, I end up with 12.09. And I rounded, so that is her finance charge. Okay, and is that what they had on her statement? Absolutely. Here is her finance charge, and it matches what we just found. Okay. When might Elena have made her purchases during the billing cycle in order to decrease her finance charges? So we talked about making a payment on the account is better to do it earlier in the billing cycle. When you are buying something, making a purchase, when do you think it is a better time to make the purchase? So if making a payment is better at the beginning of the billing cycle, making a purchase is better at the end.